does it mean for an artwork to be part of the global contemporary period? Well, the global contemporary art period is characterized by dozens of different unique shapes and forms, and that is really the main point of it. The art in this period is meant to be something different than you would usually see, something beyond our usual conception of art. If you are looking for a piece of art or architecture that reflects this period, the Gates would be exactly what you were looking for. The installation in Central Park, New York, on February 12, 2005, is not actually just a single gate, but 7,503 different gates over 23 miles of walkways. The artists, Christo and Jean Claude, have been introducing eye-catching colors such as this into landscapes since the 1960s and were known for their large-scale and specific environmental installations, which were often landmarks and landscape elements wrapped in fabric. The entire project was funded by Jean and Christo, as they had a method of creating and selling their art pieces in order to continually refund their new projects, and this specific one actually cost $23 million to make. The artists met and married in Paris in the late 1950s and originally worked only under Christo's name. Until his death in 2020, he continued to plan and execute projects after Jean's death in 2009. The pair were actually accustomed to bureaucratic battles and inevitability given subjects that reshape iconic structures such as their The Point Neuf, Wrapped 1975 through 1985, Wrapped Richteg from 1971 through 1995, and the Gates. But that is enough about the artists. Let's actually look at the closer details of the gates. Throughout the work, saffron color was used to create a golden ceiling, creating warm shadows for the visitor walking across the Central Park path. The Central Park path is actually a huge part of the experience. When you walk past the gates, that installation actually alters the experience of seeing and walking along the paths that run throughout the entire park. And unlike many of the pair's other designs, the gates aligns itself along pre-existing pathways of movement instead of dividing and isolating the forms in the landscape. The title also actually alludes to a threshold, or a point of exit and entrance, and actually in some of the places, the structure forms an oval with no starting or exit point, creating no favorable point from where to actually view the work. It is an installation that is made for a viewer in motion, not sitting still. It is in no way a static object. The gates complicates an environment that was entirely invented in the mid-19th century to express the Victorian ideal of the pastoral and picturesque landscape. This beautiful work of art was brought to us by Jean and Christo Claude, who have invested so much time, money, and their reputation in creating these ephemeral and non-collectible works. They endow the works of art with a feeling of urgency to be seen and the love and tenderness brought by the fact that they will not exist forever because they are only temporary. The temporary factor of the projects that these two make is an aesthetic decision and makes the work more valued at the point in time because the people know it won't last. In the end, the gates took about 6 whole weeks to install and came down just a day after the exhibition ended with nearly all of the materials being recycled. The Gates is an iconic example of a work that represents the best parts of the global contemporary movement. This work is trying to stray away from what the world has known about art for centuries and uses its own new and unique ways of doing it, whether it be taking its form as only to be temporary or how it actually is incorporated into the design of one of the most major public spaces in the world. The global contemporary art movement is all about the transcendence of traditional conceptions of art and attempting to reach beyond the known, and this work does exactly that.